I decided to do an experiment here to see whether reading data from either one big file, one big XML file, and then you have, let's just use an example. You have a newspaper. Within that newspaper, you have articles, and within that newspaper, you also have publishers, editors. In the XML file, you would have a section for articles and a section for editors. And what I'm comparing this to is having two files, one called articles and one called editors, and then you individually reading these as separate files rather than having them in one big file. To show you what I mean, this is one big file. So we have a bunch of FooBars, and inside with FooBars we have foos, and here are all the foos, and there's also bars, and here are all the bars. And then we just close off the entire file. And this is compared to foos. So we have foos here, and here are all the foos, and then that's the end, and then we have a bunch of bars. And I'm using two XML marshallers in here. So this is for the big file. It just reads in all of the FooBars into another class called FooBars, and then it makes an instance of bars and foos, and then inside those there are individual foos and bars. Compared to this, we're using the other marshaller, which gets foos and gets bars individually and puts them into their own respective foos and bars classes. So how did I test this? Well, I used the system.nanotime function and compared both running at the same time, and it turns out that reading from two smaller files, this is the time that two smaller files took in nanoseconds compared to OBF, which is one big file in nanoseconds. So it turns out that reading one big file, which I thought would be more efficient, actually takes a lot longer than reading two small files separately. So I guess in the assignment I have to change that. But yeah, interesting experiments at 2:40.